issue, and I hear this from everywhere I go. Every teacher I speak to that teaches math, we have a problem with retention of basic fluency or basic math skills. So throughout the process in the past years of teaching, I have actually in one of my master's classes, I did a thesis and my dissertation on how students retain mathematical facts and the process that critical thinking and deeper learning of math processes, how the basic facts, how important it is for that to be just something that is mastered and is automatic, quick recall. So through the years, and this year we had a focus question because research says students learn best through games. So my students last year, I'm looping with the same group of students this year, third graders, and now they're my fourth graders. They were interested in finding a way that we could make math games and also use our iPads in the classroom to create math games. So I'm using Tynker. It's computer programming, it's basic level of coding, and throughout the year my students will be engaging a couple days a week. They will be engaging in learning math and computer coding. As we have started already, we have started with a simple greeting card, and at first we were doing it home group using the interactive board, and now we have it on the iPad, and they do individual lessons, and it's kind of self-paced. And then we meet and we gather on a designated day, and they create and they share their products. Kids have learned quite a bit about the degrees and the angles, circles, those angles and things, they become real life because they actually see the purpose of having 360 degrees and how that actually applies in computer programming of turning, rotating, standing at a 90-degree angle with a plane and understanding what a plane surface is. So we've had a lot of exciting learning to come out of this so far. We've had probably 4 weeks of instruction, and the overall learning outcome is to actually track in our data notebooks how well we did a pre-assessment, and the pre-assessment first started with how would you like to learn your basic, how would you like to learn things that are difficult to learn in math class. Overall, it came up with they like some type of computer-based technology or some type of game. So that led to the focus question, are games better to learn some of your basic math facts with, or some of your harder math skills? Then from there, we went to choosing our platforms. And in addition to using the computer programming and coding, some of my students are actually working on making just regular board games. All this occurs within my classroom, and the supplies are there for them to use in the classroom. In addition to the computer programming, we did a pre-assessment to see their level of knowledge with using the computer, basic commands, basic keyboard functioning, and from there I've kind of scaffold the lessons because in the Tynker program there are already pre-designed lessons at different levels. So I kind of break it into stations, smaller teacher stations for those with the lower levels of computer skills, and then we are actually at the point they're working on their own. And the kids are just so excited, and the connections, the life connections they're making is just unbelievable. The end project is, we're hoping, maybe not this year but next year, but we're hoping to design apps, and we don't exactly think that we will put them out to make a profit at this point, but we're hoping to publish a couple apps through iTunes and the various outlets of producing our own apps. So that is the purpose of using tinkering and coding, and my students have really started to collaborate. The talk that is developing, they're not afraid to talk, and that carries over into math class. The mathematical processes and practices, they are ready to critique and talk about their math, and that has happened with the collaborative effort of using tinkering, because when you have that on the board and you're doing whole group, the kids can't help but come off the floor and run to the board because they see how they can help solve one of the problems. So it's a very good way to develop critical thinking and problem solving. Any questions? grade them, I have created post assessments, and then I have a rubric based on certain applications that they really create, like the greeting card they created. There was a rubric, and I used that to judge if they were assessed by their rubric.